What is up? It's Neve and welcome to the first episode of a small little series of me trying different art mediums. The first art medium we're going to be trying is acrylic paint. Acrylic paint was developed in 1934 by German chemical company BASF. It's a water-based, fast-drying paint made of pigment suspended in acrylic polymer emulsion. Due to the versatility and its fast-drying nature, acrylics became an extremely popular painting medium. In the 1940s, it was quite popular for house painting, as they were easier to use and clean. They were also far less toxic than many other paints. It was during the 1960s that it began to really attract artists. It allowed for a lot of fast-paced freedom and artistic exploration and production. Artists were attracted by how cheap they were and the fact that they held colour well, dried quickly, were water-resistant when dry, and could resemble watercolour and oil paint. Acrylics allowed the artist to mimic the transparent brilliance of watercolour by diluting the paint with water or the sharp, densely layered effects of oil paints. A benefit of acrylic paints is its fast-drying time allows for you to paint in layers efficiently, unlike an oil painting where it can take weeks to months for layers to dry. Acrylic paint seems more suited towards the technique. Acrylic paints are an extremely versatile medium. As it takes to surfaces really easily, you can use canvas, paper, pottery, glass. It's a medium that works well with it all. Some famous acrylic paintings include Mr. and Mrs. Clark and Percy by David Hockney, Bursting Sun by Jason Kennelly. I may have pronounced that wrong. But one really famous acrylic painter was Andy Warhol. He used acrylic paint in paintings of his like Shop Marilyn's, Marilyn DePicci, Race Riot, Silver Car Crash, and maybe one of his most famous paintings, Campbell's Soup Can. Acrylic paints are one of the most used art supplies of the modern age. The practicality, versatility, cheaper prices, and high quality of acrylics allows for a wider range of artists to produce work. They continue to contribute to the accessibility of art production. So now we're on to the painting. As you can see, during this entire time, I've been painting. As someone who is recording this a while after she completed the initial painting, I'm very much aware of how much I struggled during this. Acrylic paints is a medium I've actually used before, so I was not really expecting to have so much of a struggle when I went into this piece. I decided that for this little mini-series, I wanted to just paint tons of different fruits and draw different kinds of fruit in different mediums. So I'm not going to be doing an apple for every single one, but I tried to match them with alliteration. So acrylic, apple, just made sense to me in the moment, but I struggled so much. Whilst acrylic paints is one of the mediums I have actually used before, I'm still finding my personal style with it, which means I did go back and forth deciding whether or not I wanted to make it look more realistic, more cartoony. One thing I really like though is one thing that I know is my personal style is I like my art to look as if it's art. For me personally, hyper-realistic is not something that I'm drawn to. It's also not something I could probably achieve even if I was. So I'm inviting you along with my journey to absolutely fail this and make my art teacher so sad. But I also could not be bothered to mix any colors, so I am just working with the standard colors in my art set. So we started off a lot brighter than I probably would have gone should I be doing it smarter. Took in some deeper tones to try and create a bit of dimension, which would have been better if I had mixed in some green and used a bit of color theory, but again, I was lazy and probably didn't do as well as I could have. But I think I was taking it a bit too far for granted, you know? It's a paint I'd used before. I was expecting to come into this with a lot more ease than I did. I definitely kept on going back and forth. I thought I'd get something right, and then I'd go back and be like, oh, I could add this, and then just completely ruin everything I liked about the piece. Overall, it was a roller coaster of emotions. I'm already cringing about how awkward this voiceover has been. I have been nervous. I've said weird things. It's an experience. I honestly did not think I would be this nervous in front of a camera. I've spoken to lots of people before. I've done meetings, I've done things with adults, I've done things with fellow teens, and I find that so much more easier than talking to nobody, which is so weird because I talk to myself all the time. It's like I'm my only friend sometimes, but I definitely did not make this easy for myself. As I said before, I couldn't be bothered to mix any of the colours. I did it all with one brush, and it was only about halfway through that I decided, you know what, I should probably get a paper towel to clean my brush. I genuinely was not expecting any sort of difficulty. In the end, I was painting for like over an hour, which has now been condensed down to like 10-15 minutes. Oh my god, the highlights. The highlights were giving me the worst because my reference photo had a ton of highlights. The highlights were just all going really weird pink shades. They were blending too much in, which probably could have been saved should I have let the piece dry, but then I could not be bothered to let the piece dry. So it was just all blending together, which was fine when it got to other stages, but for this stage, it genuinely just was not working. But if you guys have any tips or tricks, please let me know in the comments below. I will read everything. Like I said, and coming on that note, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like so I know it is a series that I should continue with. If you have any paints or art mediums that you want me to try, also let me know down below. Please subscribe. It means a ton. And yeah, the top of the apple. I really hated the top of the apple. It just was not working. I ended up eventually finding something which was okay, but this is the point I actually liked it, and then I added the yellow and I just kind of ruined it. And then I started adding like red. I don't know, maybe not yet. Now I started adding red, which then just made it all even more messier, and then I ended up just practically painting over everything that I'd already done. Oh my, and that green, I'm not even kidding you, I actually have in that set an actual green that would have worked perfectly for that colour, but I just didn't take it out. It's literally right underneath that, what's it called, paint palette? Would you call that a paint palette? It's right underneath that, but I just could not be bothered to go and get it out. So instead I ended up just ruining it even more. Oh, we're getting in the fingers. That was my second brush because I could not be bothered to go and get another one. It's just a normal like small flat brush, which was just ruining everything. And then we went into ugly territory. My stand, we broke the stand, so we ended up having to go into recording with one hand and painting with the other, so really giving ourselves no support. We cut bits out, and it just, this is not the fun territory for this. I am definitely saying I'm not a professional. I don't know anyone could be looking at this and genuinely think I'm a professional. Sarcasm there. I feel like I need to emphasize that. I have no idea what I'm doing with this. So again, any feedback, anything at all is better than nothing. So please just put in your comments for anything to help me with this monstrosity that is me attempting to do art, me attempting to film a video. enjoyed art before I went into doing this, and then it just collapsed. I can show you other paintings I've done with acrylic if that is something you're interested in. Obviously I won't be able to show you the background, but I just genuinely just want to kind of prove that I'm not as hopeless as this piece has done. And also I don't really want, for some people they may find this as something really good, and I don't really mean to belittle anyone's art, because there's so many times where I'm watching YouTube and I'm seeing people who are like, oh my god, my art's so bad, and it is genuinely good. I'm not saying that this is bad. I am actually quite happy with how it turned out. I'm more just meaning it's not my best ever piece of work, and that's fine. I'm noticing that I've made heaps of mistakes. I'm noticing that I've got lots of room to improve with this piece, but I'm also noticing that there is some things which I'm actually really happy about. Oh, we're fine. This is the bit I actually was happy with. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, all mixing in this colour. I really wish I did add some green in, but my actual reference was like a plain red apple. But I really would... Sorry. I really do wish I'd added in some more dimension and different colours. I tried later on, I think, I tried dotting, because my actual reference had some like dots of different colours mixing in. I think now, no, we're adding in more reds. Wow, because I didn't have enough red on there. On my reference photo there was dots of random like yellowies and reds just going on top of each other, which I tried adding in. Oh, this bit, sorry, cut my talk short. This is the one bit, because I went over the edges, it created a bit more depth, because I was actually using the green of the background, and it was something I'm actually glad I accidentally did that, because I just painted out the lines, and it did actually help the shape of the apple. But here's where I added in these yellow dots, which I don't know why I thought that would work, because genuinely now that I look back at it, I'm like, what was she thinking in that moment? What actually went through her head to ever think that that would be a good idea? Because I was trying to do something that I know I can't do, which is realism. I was trying to actually imitate the apple when I don't particularly enjoy hyperrealism. That I'm gonna get belittled for this. I enjoy hyperrealism when you can still see those like brush strokes. I like those slight imperfections which turn art into art. I do understand that some people prefer hyperrealism, and I think hyperrealism is one of the most impressive ones. I'm not taking any of that away, but I love art with its small inconsistencies and its creative freedom. But I don't even know what was going on with this. We're coming to the end of this monstrosity of painting, of audio, of everything, of me starting with a script and then me not scripting like over half of the video, because I thought, oh, it's going to take me like 20 minutes just to give my scripted bit, but no, it very much did not. I just want to say thank you for clicking on this. It means the world to me. Any feedback I can get, negative, positive, any of that, please put in the comments. I'm loving it. I really want to improve. Any tips for doing this means the world to me. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. With my weird shaped apple. I don't even know. I was gonna make a joke with an apple, but then I realized I can't do comedy. Yeah, I peeled off the gold tape. This bit really frustrated me. I put on the tape wonky on one side, on the far side, and then I stuck on I was so nervous in that moment that I was going to rip the painting, but it is a bit wonky. But I hope you enjoyed. I hope you liked it. Please watch another video. It would mean the world to me. And well, bye.